And Captain Massive, guys, we are finally back again for another one on the one and only Mystelics reaction, guys. The second one today, guys. Don't forget to check out the previous one in the first comment in the comment box below, guys. Welcome to all the Mystelics YouTube family. I've definitely tuned in to another reaction video, and of course the newcomers are there. Big up on yourself one time for definitely tuning into this here reaction video, guys. Give this video a thumbs up. I would appreciate that, guys. Click the thumbs up button, boom, and if you have not done so, guys, subscribe. Click the subscribe button. Click turn on the bell. And then click all where you'll be pretty much notified when I drop my videos right there and then, guys. St. Lucia, UWP has spoken right there when it comes down to Dominica's sham election. And of course, they have indicated that they have sided with the opposition right there, guys, stating that the sham election should not ever have been held right there. The United Workers' Party of St. Lucia stands in solidarity with the United Workers' Party in the Commonwealth of Dominica in its decision to boycott the general election called on the 6th of December 2022 by the Prime Minister Roosevelt SKERRIT, despite the fact that election reform is needed for the past years. How much years? Many years, guys. Over 20 years right there, to facilitate free and fair elections. Prime Minister SKERRIT has completely disregarded the will of the people with the announcement of a snap election before electoral standards have been put in place. Just before it, bow! November 6th, he announced it, guys, and of course, November was when the implementation of this electoral reform had to be done. They were gonna put it, Byron was gonna start putting things in place, and of course then they would table it to Parliament for them to accept it. Guys, sorry about that, my camera the thing was just filled up right there, so I had to clear out some stuff. But of course, you know, they were gonna implement this phase 1, and of course they're gonna bring it for towards Parliament for them to implement it, and then phase 2 would have been done either in January, and then of course implementation would have been done in April or in around March, April 2023 right there. But of course the Prime Minister just went jump and did it before, because he knows that his friends told him that if there was any sort of electoral reform, his legacy of re-elections will be tainted right there. So then Byron was the person in charge of it, former president, blah blah blah. You guys can read this stuff for yourself. But of course UWP is pretty much UWP in St. Lucia is saying that they side with, you know, Dominica UWP, stating of the sham that is taking place in Dominica right there. You guys can read the rest of this. This is pretty much it right there. The Prime Minister also made the announcement during a major weather disturbance. He must be a disturbance right there, guys. He made this a major announcement in a major weather disturbance that has caused untold damage. I tell you, I said this last time and I said this previously. Untold damage to the east of Dominica. And the Prime Minister decides the best thing for him to do at that time was for him to call elections. Yes, Lord. Untold damage to so many citizens and businesses, which speak to the government's insensitivity to its people, their safety, and their loss. It does. I mean, tonight they're having something in Portsmouth. Not in the east, all you're supposed to focus on now. Say, hey, what can we do? Forget this whole campaign. Let us check the people of the east. That will show you care for the people. But of course, the Prime Minister doesn't care for the people. He cares about himself and whether he gets elected or not, so he can continue doing whatever he's doing to screw up the place while he enriches himself. How do I know this? Well, he keeps talking about how bad things are in Dominica and the rest of the world, and saying, you know, as a result of the rest of the world, things are bad, so things are bad in Dominica. But it seems like he's the only one who has the ability to build a mansion that is bigger than the previous mansions that he has during the same time. So it's not me that just saying what I want, brothers and sisters. The proof is in the pudding. Anyways, guys, Freedom Party has decided to jump on board as well. Hopefully the Freedom Party in St. Lucia, I don't know if that Freedom Party in St. Lucia, but you know, hopefully they join on board and say something too in this regard. I think people across the Caribbean should look at the matter of what is taking place in Dominica and say, hey, what is going on? It should not be. And if there was any elections, that they will consider the legitimacy of the Prime Minister. If he's back in office again, they should consider him an illegitimate Prime Minister right there. Anyways, Freedom Party is back and of course saying something in this regard. Take a listen.
The Dominica Freedom Party was founded on principle, human rights, and integrity of action. While the decision of other political parties to not participate in the elections may seem to present a ripe opportunity For the DFP to be political poachers, it is simply not in the DNA of the party to ignore principle and become naked political opportunists.
I think so too, considering if the main opposition party pulls out and people don't like what is happening with the present DLP thing, and the Freedom Party comes in and say, okay, we'll do the election, there's a huge possibility they will pick up some seats, if not all the seats. If the people are really fed up and realize that, hey, the government at present does not care about us at all and will give us things to keep us under their form under their foot, so that they can keep us where they want us to be, to constantly be in a state of need for them. That would have been a good thing, but it's not just about doing certain things to take power. No, it is about the principal factor right there. Anybody who goes up and decide, hey, I'm gonna do things, go on what do you call that? Go and represent or go independent. These people are opportunists, definitely opportunists. So I give kudos to Freedom Party for that. But like I said before, guys, I think everybody should go out there. If there is actually an election that takes place on December 6th, everybody should go out there and spoil the ballot. So when they read in the paper, they will see that there's a set of spoiled ballots, probably even more than the votes themselves, and people realize that something is wrong right there. You need to go out there and spoil the ballots. If there's an election that is happening, it's your right to vote. Go out there and spoil the ballot, spoil the ballot paper, and then hand it in.
The DFP cannot in clear conscience continue to validate a deeply flawed and anti-democratic election process.
True.
The DFP refuses to play any longer on the chessboard that Roosevelt SKERRIT has deviously constructed to ensure the game has only one outcome.
Himself winning. He knows this. He knows he cannot win free and fair elections, so he has to continue the sham, beat it before the free and the electoral reform comes into play. That's what he did. The exact time. Boy.
The DFP will therefore not contest the December 6, 2022 general election. But we will continue to play, and to play vigorously to replace this unethical regime from office.
Yep.
But we will now do so on a new chessboard of our construction. We will push aside the red chessboard and reconstruct the field of play on a board that is fair, ethical, and democratic. We now view December 6 not as a day of election, but a day of liberation. A day when finally the majority of Dominicans will see this regime for what it is.
They seen it. They seen SKERRIT don't care about them. It's himself he care about. Bit boy, tell you, check out the previous reaction, guys. That'll be the first comment in the comment box below. May say quit that happened in the Isui. Or you don't see the video I did before. If you have not, check out the previous link, and that link will be in the first comment in the comment box below.
A day when the psychological mood of the country will shift to one of empowerment. A day when all those who stand for freedom, justice, and a better Dominica will coalesce into a movement of civil rights, justice, and a new Dominica. My friends, the fight goes on.
The fight definitely goes on right there and then. Anyways, guys, I want you guys to listen to Mr. Gabriel Christian. He actually posted another link, but this is a bit different from what he posted right there, guys. So I'm going to play it for you guys and let me know your thoughts on this regard right there. Take a listen.
Good evening, my fellow Dominicans, my dearly beloved, my Dominican people. My Dominican people, this is our flag. It's done by my high school English literature teacher,
Alwyn
Bully, a great Dominican. We love Alwyn Bully.
Yep.
And we'll
He's my film mentor.
Always love him and those like him, or teachers of that time, or parents who set for us a good example in integrity, respect for rule of law. What were the things they taught us? Honesty is the best policy. Waste not, want not.
It is a hell of a thing, guys. For what you've been taught in schools, the very people who's supposed to live up to the very thing, to become the role models of what we are taught in school. It is totally different in this day and age. Totally different.
But more importantly, Edward Oliver LeBlanc from Vikas, or great leader, or father figure, or nation builder, or architect of Creole nationalism, who believed in Dominicans, who had respect and dignity in store for Dominicans, who opened doors for Dominicans. When there was a real Labour Party, he inspired us. And it's because of people like Alwyn Bully and Edward Oliver LeBlanc and the teachers of our time and our parents that Edward Oliver Blair taught us, as in Sissy Cordera and the others who sang in Creole song, Pa kite yo po Dominique nou. Pa kite yo po Dominique nou. What did that mean? What does that mean?
Tell us.
Creole for do not let them steal Dominica from us.
It is a hell of a thing when foreigners will try to steal Dominica. I heard that Patrick Jordan tried to sell Dominica to the KKK. But it's another thing when your own people are stealing Dominica under your feet. Your own freedom, your own ability to be free and truly independent. They're stealing that from you, because if you talk, they will come for you and victimize you. And people just stay there and just, okay.
I'm a born Dominican and I will die a born Dominican. Nothing will change that. You can take me and many Dominicans, thousands of us, out of Dominica, but you cannot take Dominica out of us.
There's a song that goes, I'm born, some calypso, I think, from some short shirt person. I saw it on thing, and he was singing, you can take me out, you cannot take me out of my, I ain't going. No, he was saying I am not going anywhere, and nobody cannot take me out there. Nobody cannot take me out there. So we will never surrender our flag. And that is why we're asking for popular resistance to the dictatorship of Roosevelt's SKERRIT, because that's what we have now. Let me address you directly, Mr. SKERRIT, because we do not fear you. You are a coward, and a coward you shall always be. And you're also deceitful, and I call you out now as being an inveterate liar. You have lied your way so far. But I have never seen a prime minister lie like that. Never. And the man lying consistently and consecutively. The man lying to people over and over. You talk about the international airport, lying to the people over. Since 2014, the man lying to people. Come back again and tell people the international airport not good to build because of the expense and whatnot. Then come back again because the diaspora people were saying, hey, you need to build international airport or we not vote for you. He come back again and start saying, oh, he put money aside to build international airport. When to find out how much money that he need, boy. Let me continue, Let me continue. We don't have much time.
So for so long that it has caught up with you. Why must we rise up? Why must we demand that you, SKERRIT, resign? Well, this is why. When you came in, we all supported you right here in this office. You were with us at the Secret
Right there in that office he was.
Service, yourself and Colin McIntyre, and Pastor St. Clair Mitchell, and my staff. We worked with you.
My cousin was there too. Yes, sir.
We are part of your Dominican family, your friends. We're not UWP, a Freedom Party. Rosie Douglas asked me to serve Dominica as ambassador. And I said, Rosie, when I met you as a child at Mike Douglas's home in Zikak, Portsmouth, we didn't do it for money and things. But you have lived your life as Prime Minister in pursuit of filthy lucre, money and things, and material goods. In the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, the most grievous pandemic in modern human history, out of the mouths of Dominicans in need, you took $64,000.
Boy, you mad. Boy, you mad. Boy, you mad in your head, boy. Man crying to get stimulus package, even when they had state of emergency in Dominica. State of emergency in Dominica, Reginald and the others say the Prime Minister is deserving. What they do? What they do? They taking $64,000 from the public purse to give the Prime Minister to stay in a mansion, apparently, that was built on the lands of Melis, his wife's father. And it says his rent he was renting. Who to prove that or not? That is not gazette. That house not even gazetted.
Month in rent for a mansion on a hill. $64,000 a month in rent. You never give a stimulus.
I just say that, guys. First time I'm watching that,
Never gave any alleviation to the police or to the civil service, and you know there was need. But what have you also done? In the time you've been Prime Minister, you've sold the tens of thousands of passports, and you've left crumbs for Dominicans. Lion's share going to your friends. You've kept millions, billions outside of Dominica, outside the consolidated fund. And
them man even building, them man not building, they build it already. If it's not complete, from my understanding, the man built 28-story high-rise building in Dubai. As a result of the CBI program from Dominica, that monies could have been used to. People don't understand the monies that they taking to do all that for whatever reason could have come back to Dominica to do marvelous things in Dominica. I don't care if SKERRIT decide, hey, he coming to build biggest vibes and make things happen in Dominica. That money, I could care. I would be happy if they was taking that money and doing things for Dominicans. But instead, they have billions of dollars outside there. When the first time Lennox brought it up, $1.2 billion missing in Dominica. The government then wasn't about to admit it, you know. I think it was Anthony Astafans that admitted it. First admitted it, saying they have a consolidated, not consolidated, they have the funds overseas to do things for the CBI, whatever. They were going to deny it, you know, guys. One thing is memory good. They were about to deny it, brothers and sisters. Or they were denying it already. And then Anthony said that their money is being saved overseas. That was supposed to come into the consolidated fund. Monies based of the law should come in. Any money created as a result of Dominica should come into the consolidated fund. But you have monies being outside there. It's not the consolidated fund that build the high-rise 28-story building with the 4 parking lots. Dominica need parking lots in Roseau. They need some level of parking lot in Roseau. But no, we have one in Dubai though. Dubai, not true. Okay then, let's continue.
Offshore banks. How do we know this? Well, it was Paolo Zampoli in a pleading in the Southern District of New York who said, when he asked for his share of the Kempinski Hotel project,
man get 30 million US dollars. We each 2 people get 30 million, that is 80 million US dollars from the Kempinski. And another guy, the guy you're talking about, they say I need to get my share too before it goes into some sort of, you know, offshore account. He needs to see the thing that was the agreement, and he got a few $1 million from the accounts that was posted because of Kempinski. 2 individuals got 60 million US dollars, and Dominicans balling saying, boy, I can't get a job. boy. Okay. And then they coming back to say, vote for me. I mean, come on, people.
That he was afraid his money would disappear in the Dominica Bank in Switzerland. Roosevelt SKERRIT, I asked you this evening.
Dominica Bank in Switzerland. Dominican Bank in Switzerland. Dominican Bank in Switzerland. But the banks we have here seems to be leaving. First Caribbean International Bank leaving in January. Scotiabank left already. Yeah? Republic Bank came, but how long will Republic Bank be there? That's a big question.
The 9th November 2022. When was the Dominica Bank in Switzerland set up? Is there a Dominica Bank in Switzerland? Is what Mr. Paolo Zampoli said true? When he said that he was afraid that his money would disappear in the many offshore bank accounts?
In the many offshore bank accounts that Dominica has. Where do you think that money coming up from? From agriculture?
Do we have offshore bank accounts that you control, Mr. SKERRIT? Where is Dominica's money? Why is it you cannot offer the civil service more than 1%?
It's 1% they get now, bro. Not $10 to $20 they get per year in addition, and the union was like, no, that's too little, and they decide to give them an additional salary. Will they be getting an additional salary this year? Because the additional salary, month salary, was for last year. They gave them some December, making it seem like it's bonus they giving all you. And then they gave the rest sometime earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken, or the previous year that happened previously. Whichever time that happened, and the Prime Minister then put their salaries, they had given rise to their salaries by 50% at one point in time. I think they increased their salaries 3 times. 3 times they increased their salaries. One of them was by 50%. Then the Prime Minister, who is in charge, Minister of Finance, is then saying that he's making noise with the very people saying that, hey, his salary is too low and he needs some increase. He's paying too much taxes. Ay, ay, ay. Boy, Dominica really is a planet on itself, eh? Yeah, boy.
Why is it you cannot offer police officers a decent wage? Why is it we cannot have in our schools and in our communities the sort of development that money would have brought, and you rush into a few apartments for your supporters?
To keep them oppressed. Because building schools back doesn't make me want to keep you down, doesn't make your loyalty stay with me. I have to attack you personally. Let me kill the economy. You need help. You want my help. I build the house for you. Then you have to be loyal to me because I build that house for you and I can take you out. This is why I'm not giving you any titles. And if I give you any titles, it's a residential title. I give you right to stay there. You do not own anything. But labor can't provide.
And those are not even built by Dominicans. They're built by foreign companies.
The construction industry has been handled by foreigners. By foreigners, it has been handled. Where you hear that happening in anywhere across in the Caribbean, Grenada, for any construction vibes to happen, you need 70 to 80% of the workforce being Grenadians. In Dominica, you have to get the drag. I remember when they talk about the international airport, they tell me the last 3-4 months, the truckers will get jobs. Boy. A 5-year project, they're giving the truckers 3-4 months. That is the kind of...
Because what you've done is you've placed the bulk of Dominica's resources in the hands of your foreign friends. And now, on the eve...
But the thing is, the reason why he tends to do this, or is a huge possibility why he tends to do this, is because when he decides, okay, $100 million project goes out there, if he did it for the local people, he would not be able to get back his cut. But once the money goes out to the foreign people, they take the money, and then during that time, after they take the $100 million, they get their cut behind closed doors. When it looks like it's they that get the full money, the foreign company that gets the full money. I remember when Gaston Brown was saying this, I found it rather interesting how they tend to do these things, where they exaggerate prices for things. Like, let's say a bridge costs $5 billion. They go out there and they tell the people the bridge costs $18 million. Then they devalue the price of what the bridge was built for, probably $3 million, and they pocket the remainder of the $18 million that they tell the people the bridge was supposed to build, even though the bridge was supposed to build for $5 million.
Of a new year, 2 years left in your term, after you had paid Sir Dennis Barron, to do electoral reform, which you had promised that you would do. You paid him in excess of $500,000. What did you do? On the same day that he issued a letter, which I assume you got,
he did.
You rushed to declare the dissolution of the House of Assembly, and you called for new elections. Getting rid of Ian Douglas, getting rid of Daru, getting rid of Blackmore, getting rid of Reggie. Good for you, good for them. You got rid of them because they were burdened around your neck.
Yep.
Why?
And he knows this. He needs people he can control. So the new candidates that come in thinking, hey, we come to make a difference. Okay.
Why did you get rid of your erstwhile friends, those who had been with you for so long?
People who have won their seats. Not to say they didn't win their seats, and you want to change them. They won their seats, and you still change them. Because you need people you can control. You need people after you are gone for you to be able to control indirectly. Control Dominica indirectly. You control them directly. Tell them what they need to do, put things in place and blah blah blah. And then possibly getting monies on the side as well. When man think, because he wanted to do that, guys, remember? The Prime Minister wanted to make every prime minister who has served already continuously getting the salary, even though they are not serving as prime minister. He wanted to do that too. I wonder if he do that.
Although some of them have grumbled about your greed, why did you do that? Because we believe that you have a nefarious plan. And what is that plan? We believe, upon good information, that you intend to recolonize Dominica so that those folks who are passport citizens are also voting eligible citizens. And that you then will be able to recolonize, we believe, our country, and you will never leave power because you will have the vote of those who have paid you for a passport. And so Dominicans in your country, as they already are, will be your new slaves. Well, Mr. SKERRIT, you have something else to worry about. You have to worry about those persons with whom you have associated, who are mafiosi and banditi and criminals. Alison Maduke, the Nigerian Minister of Oil, who stole 20 billion from her own country. You have to worry about that. She was a money launderer.
You think she'll come and just change her dirty ways if she had to come to Dominica? You think she will, I'll become a diplomat, I'll do great things. They wouldn't do the same thing. They will come and volley Dominica money and go. But then again, if the Prime Minister is doing the same thing, what do you expect to happen?
The Iranian spy, Ali Reza Monfared, who stole billions from his country. You associate with him.
His friends, who apparently gave him money for elections. Same bribery and treating vibes.
And you'll have to account for that. Paolo Zampoli, someone who is of dubious repute. You've associated with him. He was here in Washington with Vince Henderson running around. Vince Henderson, the ambassador, never called one meeting to talk to Dominicans.
And I don't understand why people talking about Vince Henderson being a good leader. Vince Henderson was an ambassador and did absolutely nothing as ambassador. The man was a PAL rep in Central, I believe, and did absolutely nothing. You come in for him to somehow, after he has done nothing in the 2 careers that he has been in, that we know of. Nothing. You think him becoming the prime minister, and that is where it's heading, guys. They're going to try to make him prime minister after SKERRIT decides to leave. Or you don't notice that? That was what was happening there. Who you think they're going to make prime minister? McIntyre? Who? Lincia from Salisbury? Finella?
About university partnerships, relief programs, how Dominicans could work together with our island to prosper our communities. Instead, what your government has done is it has used its offices and certain targeted Dominicans who are deceitful for what they have done to our country to divide Dominicans at home from Dominicans overseas. Dominicans overseas, over the years, have assisted Dominica like myself and many others. We've done so without any regard to political allegiance. Eugenia Charles has been to our office. Edison James has been entertained by us. We look at Dominica as our country without regard to politics. My affinity was for the Labour Party. What have you done? You've driven a wedge between Dominicans overseas and Dominicans at home by paying Dominicans, by providing them a gratuity of free transportation and other inducements to come home and vote in violation of our electoral laws. That is what your office and that the co-conspirators have done. Created this enmity between Dominicans at home and those abroad and those within Dominica. So, sir, you're a divider. You're not a uniter. Just last night you threatened to deal with the people from Salisbury. Well, you deal with me. And you'll deal with all the other patriots. And you touch one of us, you touch all of us. You want Dominicans to turn on each other like cannibals, to fight to perpetuate you and your wife.
That's how they control things. They divide the people. And then they set up people get certain things, trying to make the others vex for them to come across. With you and your morals, you stand there saying, boy, and then the country going down the drain and you're watching other people get a little something and say, boy, let me go across there. You literally throw your morals away for a few dollars.
In your mansions and with your riches. And to keep you on our backs while we suffer. Because we are maybe overseas, but we suffer when Dominica suffers. If there's a storm, we suffer. If there's a flood, we suffer.
Yeah, because you guys, the overseas folks, have to send stuff to Dominica. The Prime Minister talk about all kind of things about I'm climate resilient and all kind of foolish. It sounds nice. But in terms of the implementation, it's foolishness. that the Prime Minister has been saying all along. But he knows that Dominica like to be called, hey, you're resilient. Resilient, brother. Yes, I.
And we don't just suffer in silence. We raise funds. We donate resources. We help our nation. And we do it, sir, as volunteers. Free of charge, without any political allegiance, without any political underpinning, but out of love of country and a desire to help our fellow men and fellow women. And so, we're asking you to resign. What did you do? You paid Dennis Byron, and I spoke to Dennis Byron today. I had a very good talk with him, and I called on him for his reputation, that of our Caribbean judiciary, to speak out about the fact that he was hired to do a job, and you pulled the rug from beneath him before he could provide the results of his work, before he could tender a report, before he could put forth the appropriate legislation. You pulled the proverbial rug from beneath his feet, denying our people and our democracy the opportunity to have electoral reform.
And the reason he did this was because he knew he could not win under free and fair elections. 2 more years to go for election to call. All the implementation of electoral reform would have gone through, and as a result of that, he knew he couldn't win.
And so now you seek to shed the blood of Dominicans. I warn you, sir, and I warn all the police officers.
I heard that there's some individuals that came in. I'll voice that voice note tomorrow for you guys. But there are apparently some people that came in from Russia and from some other place. Who knows what these people come to do? But we will find out.
Do not raise your weapons on Dominicans. To your wife who talked about Navy SEALs and snipers, I warn her also that we will hold her and you personally liable for every death, for every injury, and we will hound you both to the ends of this earth to ensure that you do not escape justice if you kill any Dominican who stands up to speak for justice. We warn you now because we have nothing left to do. We've spoken to you, and like Gaddafi, like Saddam Hussein, like so many tyrants.
Well, I don't think, on my part, I don't think Gaddafi was a tyrant. I think Gaddafi was fighting the rebels. And as a result of fighting the rebels, because remember, well, anyways, let me leave that. That is another story.
You have grown hard of hearing. You've grown haughty. You've grown arrogant. You've grown intolerant. You do not understand the basic essence of democracy, which is to give and take, which is to have fair exchange. And so, sir, I say to you, you have an opportunity to do the right thing. This is your last chance to resign, rescue for yourself and your family some peace, because there will be no peace for you. I have lived a decent life of service to my people, and I'm prepared to sacrifice my life for Dominica. Are you and Charles Severin prepared to do that? So if you're not prepared to do that, why don't I suggest to you, my friend, because that's what you are. You're not our enemy, but you've made yourself the enemy of justice. When you arrest the opposition leaders, when you charge them with crime, bogus crime, when you put monies due to be in the consolidated fund in overseas accounts, when you deny electoral reform, and when you have devised in our country a nefarious one-party state. A one-party state that is squeezing the juice of freedom and liberty and justice and truth out of the Dominican people. And you have young boys and girls now killing each other.
Boy, I tell you, boy. Because the economy is doing so bad that man decided trying their best to get ammunitions for them to be able to see how they can survive in this place. And you know, when it comes down to this kind of tough wars and this kind of... Guys, let me know your thoughts, man. Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. This is pretty much all about us for this here reaction video. Like I said before, check the links in the first comment in the comment box below, guys, and you will definitely get to see the previous one. And of course, I will see you guys in the next reaction video. Tune in tomorrow for another vibrations. Hopefully it's one I drop tomorrow, because them two things that does quick me say quick. But all I said right there, guys, give this video a thumbs up. I would appreciate that, and subscribe and turn on that post notification so you'll be pretty much notified when I drop my videos right there and then. I'll see you guys in the next reaction video. Boom, bam.